With the Epstein scandal in full swing, Donald Trump's approval rating is up, down, left, right, back to front. Nobody actually knows. When you look at the aggregates, it's not perfect. He's gone down a little bit, but there's not really much to discern here. However, CNN's Harry Enton, of course, always surprised to find somehow, amid the scandal, Trump's approval rating among the GOP has actually gone up. Numerous polls show it. I think even their poll is showing it. Now, of course,
in this clip, we are going to watch Tim Pool eviscerate CNN woke idiot for thinking that Donald Trump was actually going to lose his base over Epstein. Tim Pool is not going to hold back. Tim Pool is going to give a comprehensive lashing to CNN for ever thinking again that MAGA was dead. MAGA's over. In Tim Pool's mind, MAGA is not over. Trump's ratings are soaring still. The polls are doing really great. And the reality is that regular people aren't worried about Epstein the way that some people would expect them to be. So in this clip, Tim Pool will eviscerate the woke idiot CNN host for absurd statements about the right.
Now, I'm not saying he's above water with Hispanics, but it is surging. Despite all this, you'd think Trump would be going down with this major scandal. Instead, it's not happening. Now we've got living meme, Harry Enton. And I don't say that disparagingly. I'm a fan. I like Harry. He is always on CNN. I love his segments because he's like, look at this new polling data that we got. Oh my God, Trump's approval rating has gone up again. And it's just like, it's not always positive news for Trump, but I just love how Harry is always animated and surprised that Trump is improving. Gunther Eagleman has the Post. He says even CNN is flabbergasted after new polling shows that Trump's approval rating has risen even after the online Epstein fallout. Roll tape.
Look, I think this one surprised me a bit because of all these complaints online going after Trump and the Epstein files. You might think his approval ratings were going down, Republicans. If anything, they're going up. Republicans who approve of Trump, look at our CNN poll. The prior one, 86%. The one out this week, 88% were Republicans. How about Quinnipiac? The prior poll, 87% approve of Republicans. This week out, 90% were Republicans. If anything, Donald Trump's approval rating has gone up since this whole Epstein saga started. He is at the apex or close there too in terms of his popularity with Republican voters, Epstein files, complaints, or not.
You just proved that not everything online is real in real life.
Who knew?
Amazing.
Twitter and X are not reality.
Is there any reason that you can find that this hasn't taken hold and hurt him?
Yeah. I mean, on X, all you hear about is the Epstein files. But how about out in the real public? Republicans who said the top issue was Epstein case. The answer is one, and not 1%. One responded. This is a great little finding that Ariel Edwards-Levy, who of course is part of our polling unit, found. Just one single Republican said that the nation's top problem is in fact the Epstein case. Not much of a surprise that therefore Donald Trump's approval rating has not suffered with Republicans because of the Epstein case. Because the bottom line is most Americans say it's not high up on their priority list.
I think they're right. I think it's completely correct. This is something that we floated for a while now. It is politicos and only the most entrenched that truly focus on the Epstein case. So I've been saying this is a story that cannot go anywhere, okay? And what do I mean by that? Let's start here. If you're a regular person working in this country, and let's say you're going to the grocery store and you want to buy a box of cereal and you're like $7 for Frosted Flakes, you're going to be like, what? There's going to be actions taken. When prices fluctuate, people get mad. Now, what about Epstein? You turn on the news and someone says, where are the Epstein files? It doesn't impact your day. You might just say, yeah, we should have the Epstein files. Then you go get in your car to go to work and you have to pay $5 for a gallon of gas. And you're like, I am angry about this, leading to action. The more people talk about Epstein, the bigger the story is. This is something that no matter what happens in the story, it is not going to be heavily motivating your average person to do anything political. That's it. Now, there are a lot of people saying, I'm done with Trump. That's all an X. And I think, again, if you're a hyper-focused individual in politics, you know why this matters. You know why we want these files released, and we all do. Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie are putting forward a bill that I think is very good to get these files released. But I will then throw it to that age-old adage from liberals from Trump's first term. Trump intentionally truths things out to distract the media from issues he doesn't want them focused on. How about Israel bombed Damascus? How about Trump just provided more money or weapons to the EU? They're buying it, he says, but giving more weapons to Ukraine. What about the story where Donald Trump asked Ukraine if they were able to strike Moscow? There are many stories in the press. Donald Trump's ICE raids ongoing. Apparently now we've got raids in Pennsylvania. Now, while many people probably agree with some or all of those policies, if those were the news cycle, they could motivate action. Okay, that is, war animates people. Donald Trump approving of weapon sales animates people for protest. Epstein stuff, probably not gonna.
So I'm not one of the 5D chess kind of people who would think that, Trump is allowing Epstein to be talked about so that we don't pay attention to certain movements in the war game. I think that this situation with the Epstein case, nobody saw it coming. I think that they underestimated the base. Donald Trump might have underestimated his base a little bit and thought that they would just move on from this when he said there's nothing here, move on. And it kind of made people say, hey, wait a second. But Tim is right in the sense of the average working person is not worried about Epstein, which, sadly, that's a shame, but it's just the reality of the way things go. By the way, guys, if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Thanks to every eye that lands on these videos.
I mean that sincerely, and maybe some people are mad about it. Prices, tariffs, border security, ICE raids, all of these things animate people in the political space because it has a broad impact on them. As these ICE agents are going through these factories, we see videos of illegal immigrants fleeing construction sites. And you know what? While the GOP may cheer for that, regular people, not all of them, don't like it. I think even, Joe Rogan may have made a content. I hate taking people out of context because I don't know the full context, but saying that these hardcore raids were insane or something to that effect. Like, come on. But this is what people on the right voted for. If Donald Trump really is thinking, let's keep the media off kilter, as liberals long claimed he did, maybe this is why he is choosing to pour gas on the Epstein fire. What is the end result of all of this? Well, his approval rating apparently has gone up with Republicans. He does need the moderates, though. But if they're asking this, if you're a Republican, are you a registered Republican or not? I think the distinction matters, and I don't know for sure. Moderates may bail out. Many people probably don't care. And that's the harsh reality for those that do truly care about the Epstein case. And I think, again, it is very important. But when it comes down to it, Democrats want to stop Trump's agenda. Obviously. One way they can go about doing it is exploiting the Epstein divisions and forcing Trump to release documents that for whatever reason he doesn't want to release. I think most people do want it released in the political space. Most regular people probably go, who? Now you got to ask yourself why it is Democrats are all voting for this. Previously we saw a vote on the House floor in which Axios reported that Republicans blocked an attempt by Democrats to release the Epstein files. Marjorie Taylor Greene then countered saying, no, that was a procedural vote on control of the floor, and the Republicans weren't going to give Democrats control of the floor. The media lied. So why are Democrats trying to get all this stuff done? Obviously, it's an attack vector. Don't get me wrong. I'll take what I can get, right? We want the Epstein files released. But I do think their intention is not sincere. I believe maybe Ro Khanna and Massie, but the cynical Democratic Party, or the cynical efforts of the Democratic Party now, it's just to jam up Trump's agenda. Trump may be thinking, who cares? As long as they're not voting and making a big thing about the immigration, which can actually result in more protests, more violence, or otherwise. So here's another way we can frame it. We had in 1 week after July 4th, starting on July 4th, 3 attacks on law enforcement. On July 4th, there was an ambush, a militarized leftist group. A guy hiding in the woods shot a cop. That Monday, another man with a rifle ambushed law enforcement, shot a cop. And then Thursday, we saw a man at the raids in California draw what appeared to have been a pistol and open fire on law enforcement. Trump might be thinking, the more they talk about this high-level political story, for which there's no place to protest, there's no individuals to obstruct, it keeps them off the focus on what ICE is currently doing. That is.
So, again, the 18D chess. I'm just not with it. I'm not. The fact is that Trump didn't expect his base to go this way. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even see that hardcore of a pushback from the Democrats about Epstein. I mean, AOC hasn't really been going off about it that much, and neither has Hakeem Jeffries. I mean, I haven't seen this push that Tim keeps on alluding to about Epstein. Maybe you guys know. Maybe you guys see it. Drop a comment below. Let me know. Other than that, look, I just think it goes back to the same old basic thing that I can agree with Tim on, is the fact that people are not worried about Epstein because they're worried about their pockets, they're worried about their bills, and they're worried about putting dinner on the table for their family. This is usually how it happens. I mean, it's a philosophical kind of thing, too, to kind of, railroad people with these kind of stresses and problems, which is a real thing, and so then they can't see when the country is crumbling with different kind of blackmail operations and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we'll continue to cover what's going on. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.